Your reserve fund looks fine on paper until the roof fails, the elevator breaks down, or a state inspector shows up and it's not fine at all. If your association has been underfunding reserves even just a little, every year that passes makes the recovery harder and more expensive. Most boards know their reserves are underfunded. What they don't know is by how much or how fast the gap is growing. Here's the problem. Your physical assets are deteriorating every single day. Your roof, your paving, your plumbing systems, they don't pause while your budget catches up. So if you're only funding reserves at the minimum required level, you're falling further behind even when you think you're holding steady. We see associations all the time that believe they have a moderate shortfall, get a proper reserve study done, and discover the real number is 2 or 3 times what they estimated. That's not a planning inconvenience. That's a crisis that's been quietly building for years, and it usually surfaces at the worst possible moment, right before a major repair can't wait any longer. Once a board decides to address an underfunded reserves, they typically hear about 3 options: a special assessment, a loan, or a dues increase. And those options are real, but the execution is where things get complicated fast. Special assessments require specific procedural steps under Michigan law and your governing documents, and in many cases, owner approval. Getting that approval wrong doesn't just slow you down. It can expose the board to legal liability. Association loans are available, but qualification depends on your financial health, your delinquency rates, and how your governing documents are structured. A lender looking at your financials is seeing things that your board may not have considered. And permanent dues increases require the right communication, the right timing, and often a reserve study that supports the number you're proposing, or residents will push back hard. These aren't impossible problems, but each one has its own sequence of steps that needs to happen correctly and in the right order. Many boards aim to hit the minimum reserve threshold required by lenders, around 10%, and consider that responsible management. It isn't. A 10% funded ratio means your reserves cover about 1/10 of your projected replacement costs. For most communities, that's not a cushion, it's a liability. Industry professionals typically recommend funded ratio between 70 and 100%. The gap between where most associations actually are and where they should be is significant, and bridging it requires a plan that accounts for your specific asset mix, your current balance, and your community's financial capacity. There's no one-size-fits-all catch-up formula. The right approach depends on variables specific to your association that need to be evaluated carefully. If your association is underfunded, or if you're not sure where you actually stand, this isn't something to figure out through guesswork or a general checklist. The decisions your board makes in the next 12 to 24 months will affect your property values, your legal exposure, and your residents' financial stability for years to come. This is exactly the kind of situation where an experienced management partner makes the difference between a recovery plan that works and one that creates more problems than it solves. At ManageMax, we know that effective community management is built on transparency and systematic excellence. We provide full-service HOA and condominium management across Southeast Michigan, handling everything from accurate financial reporting to proactive maintenance. Our goal is to reduce the burden on your board while protecting your property values. If you're looking for a partner who values accountability as much as you do, visit us at managemaxproperties.com. Let's build a stronger community together.